The player satisfaction survey has been released, and there's some really juicy information in it that we need to talk about. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I hope you're doing well. Dead by Daylight recently showed a new satisfaction survey, and there was some quite juicy stuff in there. They talked about a bunch of different things that really seems good if they incorporate into the game. With that being said, let's talk about some of the nice things that they talked about. Now, overall, to begin, the survey was talking about the new stuff, and they really put an emphasis on how much you enjoy the chapter, the perks, and the map. After that, they basically talked about the report system for bugs in the game and players, etc., and how, happy are you with that. So I recommend you guys fill out this, give your honest opinions, nothing that's biased from whatever you've been seeing other content creators saying, or maybe your friends, but how you truly feel to give the best feedback to DBD. And then they asked us a lot of juicy questions that potentially could shape the future of what's coming into the game. And if it is, it's going to be some pretty cool stuff. So one of the questions basically asks, what would you most likely to see as licensed content coming into DBD? Your options were films and TV, video games, cosmetics, anime, or mangas. And there were a lot of choices, and the possibility that the new chapters that we're going to receive that are licensed being on these lists are absolutely huge. I mean, for films and TVs, the amount of things that they had in there is huge. They talked about Alien, American Horror Story, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Candyman, Conjuring, Friday the 13th, Ghostbusters, Haunting on Hill House, Insidious, It, John Wick, Jurassic Park, Megan, Predator, Terminator, The Addams Family, The Mummy, The Purge, The Sandman, The Shining, The Thing, Trick or Treat, Vampire Diaries, Wednesday, and much more. And the other options for video games, they had quite a lot of interesting stuff as well. They had Alan Wake, Alone in the Dark, BioShock, Bloodborne, Castlevania, The Conjuring, Control, Dark Souls, Dead Space, Dead Stranding, Diablo, Doom, Dungeons & Dragons, Elden Ring, Evil Within, Fatal Frame, Final Fantasy, FNAF, Ghostwire Tokyo, Layers of Fears, Little Nightmares, Magic the Gathering, Metal Gear Solid, Mortal Kombat, Nier Automata, Outlast, Portal, Returnal, Siren, System Shock, Tomb Raider, Until Dawn, and Warhammer. There's fantastic choices there. They even had comics. Again, I'm not too familiar with comics and anime, but I'll still read you off what they wrote. They had Basketful of Heads, Gideon Falls, Hellblazer, Hellboy, Spawn, and Awake. And then for anime stuff, which I think we are likely to see something like that, at least in the cosmetics in the future, we had another Berserk, Chainsaw Man, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, Demon Slayer, Devilman. Oh no, I'm going to butcher some of these names now. Dororo, Full Metal Alchemist, Gankukusho. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these names, I know it. Ghost in the Shell, Hell's Paradise, Hellsing, Hunter X, JoJo, Jujutsu Kaisen, Junji Ito, Monster, Overlord, Parasite, Psycho Pass, Shiki, Tokyo Ghoul. All really cool stuff, and it kind of shows us what Dead by Daylight could potentially bring for us in the future. And I mean, at any medium, this would be awesome. If this was just cosmetics, if this was just charms, if this is a full chapter, any of these things they name basically would be huge. So now this kind of gives us an idea of what potentially could come in the future as we have definitive lists, although admittingly giant lists. It kind of narrows it down a lot more, because when you're thinking of licensed stuff, it could literally be anything. Now we know what's kind of on their radar, and I guarantee you that some of the things that they mention in this are more than likely to come into the game, considering in past surveys we've had things like Pinhead, we've had things like Ghostface that eventually made it into the game. So one of these things on this list, I can almost guarantee will be coming out in the future. Now the cool stuff doesn't stop there. Dead by Daylight talked about a lot of other things in this survey as well that seemed really cool in my opinion. One of those major things being is what type of influencer related stuff would we like seeing coming in the future? And if you answered that you were interested in this, they then asked if you wanted to see influencer content based on charms, killers, survivors, or cosmetics. I think charms and cosmetics will be fantastic if they ever do introduce more influencer type content in the game. So that way, if you're watching your favorite influencer or content creator, you can rock some of their awesome stuff. I always said that they probably would never do something like this moving forward in the future because of things that happened with the charity case in previous times, but I feel like there's some good selections out there that they really can pick from. I would love to see more cosmetics or even survivors based around some of my favorite content creators. How great would it be if they incorporated stuff for puppers into the game more so than just a charm? I think this can go a long way, and this would be pretty cool if they do incorporate some of those stuff. They didn't talk about what mediums would we like to see DBD branch into, being board games, anime, escape rooms, mangas, TV series, comics, novels, art books, movies, video games, puzzles, etc. Again, they seem to already be doing a lot of these things, but I would love to see an escape room or a TV series coming in the future, maybe even puzzles. That would be fantastic. More video games we already know they're doing, but having more Dead by Daylight type games would be really, really cool. So still some really exciting things that potentially they could be looking into. Some of the other cool things that they mentioned about was new Moris, a killer basement components where killers can basically customize their basement, evolving outfits, which we've seen in other games like Call of Duty, where the more generators you repair, your outfit like changes colors, things like that. Post-match emotes, which I'm not too high about. In-match stickers and emotes, which is the same thing. Survivor sprays, where you can like spray stuff on the surface. Killer powers with VFX, which like different visuals but same gameplay, kind of like how we have the Baba Yaga. All of these things would be super cool if they incorporated it into the game. They didn't talk about Rift consumable rewards, and they mentioned getting character trials, so like the splinters that we had in the past to try out a character for free, XP booster, blood point boosters, survivor items, add-ons, offerings, Rift fragment boosters. All of these things would be fantastic if they were included in the Rift as consumable rewards, and it will make the Rift a lot more enjoyable, especially if they put these things on the free track rather than just having some standard blood points. They then asked the question based on the likelihood of you using these features, which seems that they might bring these into the game. Those being character portraits. I would love to see alternate portraits that we could use. Player cards like stat trackers, which we already know they're going to bring into the game, so that's awesome. Survivor charms on generators. Imagine having your own unique charm on a generator. That would be really cool. Custom loading screens. We've been talking about this for such a long time. Lobby chat stickers. Again, I don't really care too much about that, but it could be cool, you know. And then they said personal cosmetics with your own username on like a Survivor shirt. How cool would that be? I mean, that is fantastic. These ideas that they're talking about are things that I didn't think Dead by Daylight were able to do because of previous things that they may have said. But knowing that they're thinking about these things means that there's a really good likely chance that we might see some of these things coming into the game, because they wouldn't necessarily hype it up or at least give us the idea that it's possible if it wasn't possible. That being said, these things coming into the game would be absolutely fantastic. I highly, highly encourage you guys to go and do the survey. This isn't me like plugging the survey to do it and like DBD asked me to do it. I mean, there's so much cool things in here, and I think if collectively as a community we come together and tell them that these are the things that we want and we really want to see coming in the future, chances are we will get them, and it would be pretty awesome. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind having all of these cool features coming into the game, so I encourage you guys to fill out the survey. Nonetheless, this kind of gives us a glimpse into what Dead by Daylight is planning, or what Dead by Daylight essentially have on their mind. And we never know what could happen, but if we get all of these things that they mentioned here, it would be really, really fantastic. So hopefully we see some of those things coming in the future. I would really, really like to see them coming into the game. All of these things seem super duper cool, and I would love for Dead by Daylight to do them. Nonetheless, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for some more awesome Dead by Daylight content. Again, there are so much things that Dead by Daylight seem to have planned, so make sure you guys are filling out this survey as well. As always, that is pretty much going to do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. I've been your host, The King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.